Welcome to this video about the biocultural values at Mars Creek. Mars Creek is located within the Lane Cove National Park, which belongs to the Wadawurrung clan of the Darug Nation, who are the traditional owners of the land. Due to the long history of Indigenous presence on the land, there are multiple biocultural values within Mars Creek that are of value to the Aboriginal people. Mars Creek flows from the Lane Cove River, where it extends into the Ryde Local Council and through Macquarie University. It is important to understand the significance of biocultural values that are within certain geographic locations and the need to preserve these sites for their immense value amongst the Indigenous communities. Through environmental management and effective cooperation between National Park rangers, government and Indigenous communities, it is able to achieve ongoing ways of managing these sites of biocultural importance. This is to preserve cultural sites, plant species and animals that all play a role in the value of the ecosystem to the Aboriginal people, especially within Mars Creek. This first map highlights the number of AHIM sites in the Lane Cove area with a strong presence of Aboriginal history in the region. At Macquarie University, there have been many initiatives put in place to protect and recognise the cultural importance on which the university campus is situated around. This Aboriginal cultural site has been protected and put on display near the lake on campus, where students can observe and learn from this significant site. In order to learn more about the values, it's necessary to explore the vegetation communities within the area of the Lane Cove National Park and Mars Creek. To do this, we use CyberTracker, an innovative software that tracks our walking location and our biocultural values along our track. Through visual observation and the use of images, we recorded vegetation communities or any significant feature that may be of value to the Aboriginal community. On site to Mars Creek, there were many vegetation communities that were traditionally used by the Aboriginal people in the area. The first vegetation community we encountered was the Lomandra longifolia, which is used by the Aboriginal communities for the weaving of baskets and making of goods. But this plant also provides seeds that are roasted and ground into a flour, which can then be eaten. This plant is also a source of sugar and water if the root of the plant is pulled out. Another vegetation community that was prominent was the Eucalyptus pilearius, which is used for wood and the flowers attract bees, but also to create bark paintings and scar trees, which was culturally significant to the Aboriginal community. It was significant while walking through the national park that almost all of the natural vegetation was used by the Aboriginals in a sustainable and significant way. As we made our way towards the river, we came across the Acacia longifolia, where the seeds are eaten for its sugar, the flowers attract bees, timber for the creation of tools, and it also has medicinal purposes. This is a plant with multiple uses and was used by people living within this region. This plant, along with the Personia linearis and the Dianella caerulea, are edible when fruits turn purple or fall to the ground. As seen on this map are the different types of vegetation in the Sydney metropolitan area. The final vegetation communities within the Mars Creek catchment were the Xanthorrhoea arborea, which is used for the making of bags and were found on the banks of the river. The other prominent vegetation type was the Banksia spinulosa, which is used as a fire stick, when the flowers are shaved off the outside of the plant. This provided light for an extended period of time as it is slow burning and is a culturally significant vegetation type that the Aboriginal communities made use of. It was also relevant while walking through the area that it is home to thousands of animal species that rely on the vegetation communities within the national park. One of the tracks found en route to the creek was the Bandicoot, which highlights the thriving ecosystem that together has immense value to the Aboriginal communities, but also to learn from these interconnected ecosystems. To record and observe the area of Mars Creek, it was necessary to take into consideration the changing landscape on the outskirts of the Lane Cove National Park, the increasing urban infrastructure compared to the immeasurable values that lies within the area surrounding Mars Creek. This is highlighted on the land use map and roads map that show the rising industrialisation of the region. This area is home to a wide variety of culturally significant vegetation types that need to be protected for future generations and for Aboriginal knowledge to be taught. As it has been demonstrated that Mars Creek is home to countless vegetation communities as well as animal species that work together to form the biocultural values along Mars Creek within the Lane Cove National Park. Through effective cooperation within environmental managers, local councils and Indigenous peoples, we are able to preserve these cultural sites for the future. It can be recognised that through the increased urbanisation of Macquarie Park that management is crucial to the existence of this ecosystem within the Mars Creek and the significance of these landscapes to the Aboriginal people.